What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Crimson Freedom, and it was really the tagline that got me to play this game. So Crimson Freedom is a RTS, a strategy game, just like StarCraft or Warcraft or whatever else you may have played in the past. But the developers have made it abundantly clear that this is a game that's going to be focusing entirely on the single-player experience, like the campaign, the storyline. And I thought to myself, damn, that's something I haven't heard from an RTS in a really long time. You see, we've been in this phase of RTS development and design for a very long time where everybody just treats the RTS genre like it's a platform to launch into multiplayer, like they're gonna be the next big esport, and it has really been sucking the life out of RTSs, in my opinion. I've been waiting for a game to realize that there is a very real lack of storyline-based RTSs out there available for play. You know, you've got some like Tempest Rising, but not very often. Almost always they're focused on the multiplayer component over everything else, and like lately the campaign is just there as like a let's get you acclimated to the game so that you can play multiplayer. No, I don't want that. I want a game that has a storyline and that I get to play RTS things inside that storyline, and so I'm giving this one a shot here today, and hopefully it turns out well. These are my first impressions of the game. We're gonna play for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna talk about the things I like, I'm gonna talk about the things I don't like along the way, and hopefully by the end we'll come to a consensus as to whether or not this game deserves a coveted spot on your wish list. If you wanted to check out Crimson Freedom, it's down below in the description. You can check it out there. On top of that, you can also take a look down there just in case you wanted to find a whole bunch of other Nerd Castle links to rub yourself all over. But let's go ahead and start off a single-player campaign.
The future looked bright. Technological revolution, borders erased, and planetary tourism. By 2250, that technology gave us the Mindful Citizen Surveillance System, a tool that rewards model citizens with points and crushes troublemakers. Open borders paved the way for Earth's government, Orbis Concordia, the most perfect tyranny in history. Space tourism, it quickly turned into a hunt for resources. That part actually worked out in our favor. My husband Dante and I were in a position to accept the role of leading the Martian mining colony. They needed public figures, and our scientific backgrounds were a bonus. They promised a semblance of autonomy for Martians as an incentive to leave the blue ball behind. That was their mistake. We turned that autonomy into independence. And Dante's discovery of Ruby 5, an unparalleled energy source synthesized from Martian fungi, became our bargaining chip. We enjoyed a fruitful relationship with the home planet. But a decade after the colony began, Earth suddenly attacked. My husband was among the first victims. Things may never get better. So why not fight when you have nothing left to lose?
Are we the Red Faction? Is this a Red Faction guerrilla style situation? I love Red Faction. Ooh, Mars for the Martians. The choice is simple, freedom or death. Hell yeah. Okay, we're breaking out right now. We're running this revolution. The revolution is now, Nerd Castle. Light some stuff on fire. Break out that old Limp Bizkit album and play some break stuff. It is, after all, one of those days.
Dante and I have endured more storms than most couples ever will. But this is our darkest hour.
Valeria, come, quickly.
Please, leave me to mourn in peace.
I know, but listen, there is hope. Ascent X developed machines years ago. A technology that could save him. I knew that Orbis had one in their possession, but I never knew where. Until now. Here, this depot, deep behind enemy lines.
Without Dante, our rebellion is over. So we don't have a choice. Gloves are off. If we want that machine, we fight for it.
We can set up a base here, but Orbis won't make it easy.
Good. I owe them a few receipts.
Well, let's get to it. I tried to re-keybind everything. I did like a trial run of this mission real fast before I came in here. There's no re-keybinding right now, and that should definitely be a thing inside of a game like this. But let's go ahead and get our defenses set up. We'll start building some buildings. I got myself a harvester over here. For whatever reason, it won't let you put it close to the Tiberium, I suppose, just to keep it fair so that money comes in like a balanceable way. But it's sort of hard to... Oh, we're already under attack. Beautiful. Well... let's get this thing rocking. Belt a loader! Kill them all! Yup, no survivors and no prisoners. That's how my revolution runs. Some people try to run revolutions on like higher-minded sentimentality. I run mine entirely based off of revenge. That's the way that I will always run my campaign against the enemy. Looks like we've got a big mama right there. I like the vehicles. They're like big and industrial looking. Let's start spitting out some soldiers real fast. I think that I would like to have another barracks over on this side so that we've got 2 of them. That way we can spit out units a little bit faster. For you, let's get a vehicle workshop going on this side. I would like to scout around a little bit, so I'm not against the idea of sending out one of these vehicles just to see what's along our flanks. Who are you guys? What's going on?
Hold fire! We're rebels. Same side.
Identify yourselves.
North side cell. We were heading to join Dante's main force. Wait! You're Valeria! Where's Dante?
He'll link up with us soon.
Then let us fight with you. We've got our own grudges with Orbis.
Trust me, ours are bigger.
It's not a competition, Valeria.
Welcome. Fall in.
All right, well, let's grab these guys and take them along the way, but there's no way to know that they're not traitors. They could very well be traitors. That's all that I'm saying, is never underestimate corporate skullduggery. They might be trying to infiltrate us and destroy us from the inside, so we need to keep a careful eye on them, maybe hook them up to the rack for a little bit, maybe charge them up with some car batteries for a couple hours, just to make sure they're actually on our side. Over here, let's get a few more riflemen going. It says that they're drillers, but it looks like they're firing some kind of bolt gun at the enemy, or some kind of riveting gun, and so they are like a ranged army unit. We'll pool up a little bit over here, and let me see, did we get any new buildings unlocked now that we have this stuff done? We do have new buildings, so we have flash thumpers. Those give us power, and our power grid is looking kind of trashy right now. So let's throw like a couple of flash thumpinators in there real fast. That way we can make sure the lights stay on, because if everybody here can't charge their Nintendo DS, they get very, very upset. We run an entire leisure economy based on whether or not people can access their Nintendo DSs, and I see a lot of our morale falling apart if they don't have access to that stuff. Dude, they're hitting us with some pretty big waves right now. I'm actually kind of surprised. Yeah, just kill them off. Do the best that you can. Valeria has like an aura that allows us to heal people.
Start. Now, let's raise an army and fight our way to the depot.
All right. I think we could probably do that. I've got more than enough resources laying around, so what else do we have in here? Do we have anything that like upgrades our units or makes them better? It looks like we're locked to these units for right now, so I'm just gonna pump out units for a little bit. One of them is gonna be like a designated defense force, because the enemy does not stop hitting you in this game. They come in strong and they keep at it. It's definitely sort of a StarCraft-inspired game in that regard, where they keep the pressure up on you whether or not you're out attacking them. And so like, we're gonna need an attack force and we're gonna need a defense force before this goes any worse or better. We do have a vehicle called a rebar in here, but it looks like I don't have something called a cabin. I want the rebar because it said the magic word double laser Gatling cannon. I like that word very much. That's a word that tickles my jimmies a ton. Double laser Gatling cannon is exactly the kind of thing that gets me excited. The cabin unlocks new units, buildings, and special abilities. All right, well, nothing's hit us from the right, so like, let's build that so that we can get the double laser Gatling cannon thing rolling. And these guys are gonna be my one force. That way I can select them a little bit easier. And we're just gonna push them out and hopefully hit wherever these attacks are coming from with reckless abandon. The game looks really good visually. Like, I like the way that it looks. It's got a really nice visual style. I'm not an enormous fan of like the visual novel cartoons that they've got going on. The art style just doesn't gel with me, but I do like the actual gameplay graphics. They got a lot of units up here. This may go poorly. Kill that thing. I don't know what it is, but it probably hurts. Don't leave it standing there just to mess with us. There we go, wipe them out. Where are they all coming from, though? This, to me, seems like it was a detachment. She's the hero, and I'm pretty sure if she dies, nothing good happens. So I'm going to have her fall back while everybody else sacrifices themselves for the revolution. and then we'll get back over here, and this is exactly why I made myself a new army. I'm gonna take these guys back up north, and they will be the new one group. Nobody say what happened to the last one group. I think it'll affect morale. I don't think it's gonna go very well. I'm also pumping out another Big Mama over here. That way we can harvest resources a little bit more quickly as time goes along. They're definitely spawning over here somewhere. You do like a battle shout that gives everybody regeneration. I like the sound of that idea. There we go. Let's have everybody regenerating a little bit, and maybe I'll push these guys out a little bit farther, because the truth of the matter is I need those resources that are stacked up over there. We're kind of pobre right now, and a little infusion of the purple goo might make our lives a little bit better. These guys are pretty scratched up anyway, so we should be all right. This has got to be the place they were hitting us from. Let's wipe it out. I do not think that our army, though, is built for knocking down buildings. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Focus on getting that... Oh, these guys came from a different direction. Okay, well, maybe this isn't the base that's sending nonstop hell in our direction. I mean, if you guys want to shoot that thing and you can stay out of range of the defensive cannon, I support you fully. But let's continue to have... I need to set these guys up. Let me get both of these... Okay, I've got both of my barracks now bound up, and our other Big Mama's ready to roll, so it's going out to gather, so we shouldn't have quite as many shortages on our resources. Let's get a couple of these rebars rocking, because I bet they're going to help out a lot. It seems like we're in a bit of an infantry dogfight right now, and having a little bit more oomph against infantry will probably help out. Turrets went down easy enough. I do like that explosive effect right there too. How the model breaks into a bunch of chunks and flies all over the place. Very satisfying stuff, although I would like to see some decals on the ground that leave like explosion marks, that have like little flames and things of that nature. Oh, they're coming from that way. Okay, sideswipe them real quick. Don't let them get to our base.
My intel says there are more strong points ahead.
Then we keep moving, and anything with the Orbis crest goes down.
Can we go into the woods? Oh, we can. I thought that was like a map boundary. Okay, well, it seems like they're coming in from that edge of the map, which is mildly annoying. But we're being kind of spicy aggressive right now, so hopefully it'll work out. I just noticed there's not really any graphic when she does her war cry either. So that's going to be a thing you definitely want to get in there, like a little whoop that goes out around her and denotes like the radius and has a sound effect like a ha, you know, Command and Conquer style. That'd be really, really nice. What is that thing right there? Is it going to continue to pump out whatever that spice is? Our new battle group is like mostly done. Let's throw a couple frag guys in there. Yeah, that seems okay. Let's get a couple frag throwers in there. And then I'm going to keep these guys scouting and moving around. So it doesn't look like there's a way out of our base over on that side. That really only leaves us with one option where we're going to like work our... I bet you that's what it is. I bet it's like a little ziggy-zaggy pattern that we've got to work with. I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if any more attacks come from the right, because we don't have defenses, unfortunately. I would like to have defenses so that I could set up like some guns over here to protect us, but it doesn't look like we have access to that right now. All right, well, our battle force is ready to roll. They're going to be the new one group. We haven't soaked any attacks in a while, so I think it may have been those barracks. I just saw those guys come out of the woods, and it made me feel nervous. Let's get these Gatling cannons up here, and let's see how they do. They're doing pretty well, but they've got Rocketeers that are definitely targeting our vehicles and whatnot, so we're going to need to be careful about it. Infantry, you guys up first, because I want you guys to soak the damage. You're a lot cheaper than the vehicles. I do like the way that they push other vehicles out of the way and stuff like that, too.
It's the only route to the depot.
Then we crack it open. Let's remind them they're not the only ones who can level walls.
Oh, we got a big battle in front of us. All right, fight them. Yup, kill everything you can. Let the frag grenadiers get in there. Yes, sir. Reporting. Okay, right through the front door. We're looking pretty good. Looks like we lost most of our infantry, so I'll get some more printing out real fast. There we go. Does this building... Oh, we can go inside this thing? Okay. Yeah, I can live with that. Let's grab what we can inside it here. Is this the depot? I don't know if this is the depot, but I don't want to move Valeria up if I don't have to. Let's move these infantry up just to rendezvous with this battle force and become a part of Fight Force 1, and then we'll keep pushing into enemy territory and seeing if we can actually wipe them off the map real quick. Let's cut to the right real quick and make sure there's no well, they got a few guys over here. No, dude, my vehicle! Keep it on them hard. Yup, pour it on them. Everything they pick off is something that I gotta reinforce later, so I'd rather not deal with it now. We do have a little bit more perp goo up here, though, so let's get that perp goo in us. A few more shooters up here. Go get them, boys. Get that Rocketeer. Get him. Every time he attacks, he does splash damage, and it is not ideal. Looks like they've got a little bit of mechanized reinforcement on that front on that side. I'm going to push to see what we can find over here. We're almost out of resources to restock ourselves with, so we're going to need to get a little bit more careful about the way that we spend our money going forward. Yeah, I guess get in there, man. Do what you can do. Yup, keep focus firing. As long as we kill their vehicles faster than they kill ours, we should be all right. Okay, got them wiped off the map. They got like spotlights and dystopian stuff going off over here. All right, let's clear everything from the front of the building before we bring Valeria up, because I'd like to keep her protected. I don't know, it doesn't say in the mission objectives, but it kind of feels like those Tanya missions from back in the day.
That's a lot of troops.
Did you expect a welcome parade?
There's a smaller side gate to the southeast. Slightly less suicidal.
Or we can fill our hearts with righteousness for the cause, and we can just charge straight on in. One man with a rifle, one man with ammo. Let's do it. All right, well, let's check this side gate real fast, but I think Valeria needs to be here. So I don't know if I bring up all of my support troops that are defending the base to help out with this push. It doesn't look like they're pushing up on my base, but I could be really wrong about that. This might be a real overextension of the resources and supply that we currently have. It might be a problem. All right, Valeria, get up there and push the button and we'll see what happens afterwards.
Laser gate. Convenient. Suggestions?
Yeah, rockets. A lot of rockets.
You can't rocket a laser beam. Have you ever seen a Centex tech?
Then what can we shoot, Finch? We're not here sightseeing. You worked for them.
Thinking. Wait. Yes. I know their software. I just need to access an Orbis comm center. There.
Perfect. Right in the middle of their nest.
Okay, well, it looks like we've got some more serious battle on our hands, so we might as well send them on out and kind of see what happens. Everybody gather up right next to the fog of war, and then we will make another push, but we have completely and totally run out of resources on this side. So whatever happens from here, it needs to be successful, and it needs to be successful without that very, very anxiety-inducing tinge of attrition. All right, so we're gathered up on this side. Let's push them out. What's up, boys? How we doing? Everybody in? Yup. No backing down, no surrender. It does look like they're tripping over each other a little bit, like the Grenadiers and whatnot in a larger massed force. They're not repathfinding to go around to the sides to get to like a firing angle. So I would recommend adding that, because in a lot of cases with games like this, what tends to happen is, unfortunately, pathfinding becomes this very, very real deal breaker that screws these games up and makes people like detach from them. They're all healed up, so let's make a push. We only have what we have, so.
Forestry project. Of all the bizarre work I've done, that one takes the prize.
Okay. Ye olde terrain ramp. It's been a while since I saw one of those inside of an RTS. Love those, though. Those things, like, they started in Command & Conquer that allowed you to bypass between, like, lower levels and higher levels. The game map was totally flat back in those days, but you still had to pay attention to, like, the cliff faces and whatnot if you wanted to be successful. How many bad guys are going to be up here? I have myriad questions about how this assault is going to go. We do have quite a few enemies up there from what it looks like. And they have rockets, and those rockets are likely going to sting a lot. All right, get in there, everybody. You guys come around to this side. I'll just manually control you. There we go. Okay, any resources up here that I can snatch and steal? Like, we lost a lot of units right here, so I'm thinking we're going to have to rebuild at some point. There we go. Get a few more of these guys going, and then I'll fill the rest with vehicles, because I do have a secondary force that's ready for deployment over on that side. There's the resources I was talking about. That's exactly what we're going to need. Let's scoop those real fast. Okay. I'm going to check back along this fog of war over here, too, for any other, like, random currency that I can get my hands on. Not because I'm greedy, but because we're losing a lot of units, all right? We're taking some serious damage out here while we're in the field, and so, like, I'm going to need to rebuild a lot of our battle force.
I'm going in.
Alone?
If you storm the place, the whole system hard locks. I'll blend in as an engineer. Meet you near the depot.
Reckless.
Effective. We'll debate it once we're out of here. Go to the depot gate. I'll open it from inside.
Okay, I'm going to send these guys back home, and I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to repair them. I don't know if we have, like, a service depot or whatever, like you had in Command & Conquer, or these guys have a little wrench on them, so they might be able to repair vehicles. I don't know. We'll see. Looks like they do. If you put them in repair mode, they just go through and they fix all your vehicles. That's going to be really helpful because this group has been beat up pretty good. I am going to need Valeria over here to help these guys regenerate, so just, like, get into the middle of them and then pop that regeneration ability. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get everybody's health back. I don't want to lose anybody more than I have to. All right, one group. Let's head on out. It's time for us to do some damage on these dorks. Ooh, I missed something down here. Oh, no, I missed a turret down there, too. Okay, well, I want those resources, but I don't want to get murdered by a turret. So we're probably going to lose somebody in attacking the turret because it's just going to focus that one guy down. But put some fire on it, I guess.
Like a Centex left some ruby stockpiles behind.
Left behind with turret coverage like that? Very generous.
Either way, it's mine now. There we go. Now we've got enough for more soldiers. Hell yeah. All 1 units, gather up by the depot. We're invading. Mars for the Martians!
Aye, aye. Another step, another fight.
Together to victory. I'm at the gate. Moving quick.
Good. Turret's going offline. Gate unlocking in 3, 2, 1. Go, go!
Marsalota! All right, let's get in here. It's ours now, boys. Kill them all! Oh, never mind. There's nobody to kill inside of here. My bloodlust was misallocated. That's my bad. That one's gonna be on me. What's inside this weird Protoss building over here?
Finch, where's our transport?
En route. I've hijacked the turrets. They'll cover you.
Oh, I love giving Orbis their own medicine.
Which way are they gonna come from? Are they gonna come from the right or are they gonna come from the south? I've only got like 12 guys over here protecting the base. Let me make sure that they don't try to backcap us real fast. We'll just make, nope, don't need you. Definitely need more of you though. More of you would be very helpful. Yeah, here they come. Cool. Fall back to the turret coverage, though. Don't get drawn too far out. Or just get drawn super far out. Yeah, that's fine. Looks like we're kind of surviving the fight. There's a lot of them, though, and my unit's auto-attack keeps moving them over in front of the turrets instead of behind the turrets. Yeah, let them damage the turrets a little bit. That would be my suggestion.
Transport's here. Finch, status.
Exiting now. Just need to... Wait. What the...
Finch! Finch! Respond!
Your scientist is headed to a cell. Right where the rest of you rebels belong.
Hey, we won. Unfortunately, Finch got captured, though, but that was what he signed up for. Everybody here knew the risks of a free Mars. I guess we'll boot into another one, shall we? Let's do this thing, and then I'll try to, like, compile my thoughts together.
It was a Pyrrhic victory. The machine keeps his systems running. Nothing more. The only good news is that Orbis needs Finch alive. They'll try to squeeze information out of him. That buys us time. But we're not just rescuing him. Storming that prison will send a message. They'll finally understand we are a force worth fearing. A real enemy.
Yeah, you just need to let that violence up inside of your heart.
As much as I want to storm that prison and pull Finch out myself, we don't have the force to break through Orbis lines.
There's an old base nearby. One we abandoned a while back. We can rebuild it.
Perfect. Move. Every minute Finch spends in that place is a minute too long.
Here we are. She's ugly, she's rusty, but mi casa, your casa, or whatever.
Close enough. This'll do. Thank you, Mike. This is where we make our stand.
Needs repairs, but my boys will have her polished up before you know it.
And Ruby? I'm not seeing much.
There should be some abandoned pucks lying around, unless someone grabbed them first.
Then start searching, and if you spot Orbis troops, clear them out.
Incoming hostiles!
Bunkers, now! Lock down the perimeter!
Well, all right then. I suppose this is probably a good enough spot to do my closing thoughts on Crimson Freedom, and I like it. Like, largely I decided to make a video on this game because I really want to support the idea of RTSs getting back to their roots and being more campaign and storyline focused and friendly, because I think that's been sorely lacking lately in all forms of RTS development. Like I said in the opening, I really dislike that campaigns mostly exist in modern RTSs to tutorialize you, then shoehorn you into the multiplayer, which I personally don't really have any interest in. So it's good to see someone pushing in a different direction, like an older direction, a more traditional direction that I think has been missed out on over the years. When it comes to the actual game itself, we've been playing for about an hour, and I think it seems to be in pretty good shape. Like, pathfinding can be a little bit weird with large troop blobs, like especially in combat. That's where I felt it the most. It's actually not that bad when you're navigating around the map, but in combat, it feels like maybe the unit collision boxes are a tiny bit too big and they kind of want to be in formation when they fight, like they sort of fall back into a grid. So once your army gets past a certain size, they can't all square off with the enemy and make it to the front lines, and so they sit in the back lines trying to push their way through other guys and slide guys around, and they can't really achieve that. So you don't have like all your guns on the target even when you have a really big army. And so I think if they had a little bit of give when it comes to the clipping space that they inhabit to overlap each other ever so slightly and kind of rub shoulders a little bit closer only in combat, and then when you're out of combat, it's fine if they run in formation or whatever, I think that would fix it up and make the big clashes feel a little bit better, like you're getting maximum use out of your entire army. I mean, obviously, I could have fixed it with a little bit more micro as well, having like 1, 2, 3 groups, and then having 2s and 3s sort of flank around the sides, while 1 soaks a lot of the aggro. But I do think still they could cram a little closer to each other when you're fighting, and it would feel a tad better. On the graphical front, I think the game actually looks really, really good. The gameplay itself, I think they could punch up the explosions and some of the lighting effects a little bit better, but the models look good, the characters look good, I like the way that the vehicles look, I like the unit barks. I don't think that the visual novel style of the narrative sections of the game, like they have for the cutscenes, I don't think those look as good or high fidelity as the rest of the game does, and I did find that a little bit jarring. Sound effects, they all seem to be well selected. The unit roster so far in a few missions is expanding pretty quickly, and I like that the Martians' gear is all repurposed industrial equipment that has secondary uses and abilities. So like at certain points you get school buses and you can load Marines inside of them, and then the bus takes damage first, but if the bus dies, it converts into a defensive emplacement bunker in that spot where the bus actually died, and all the units inside of it can fight from the bunker. They've got some interesting units inside of here, and I really like the industrial graphics that they've gone for everything that makes it feel like you're a freedom force on a limited budget trying to fight back against like this giant corporation that has infinite resources. It feels very rebellious. It feels good. I think the options menu could use a lot of expansion. So far from what I saw, it's a little bit simple and limited right now, but overall I think Crimson Freedom is in an okay spot. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it and see what they do with it in the future, because I personally like the idea of a Red Faction inspired RTS. I think that's a really cool idea. You'll always draw me into sort of the Belt of Lotus style rebellion against whoever the man is that's telling us we got to go down into the mines and dig, and we're fighting back with whatever we have on hand. I think that's always one of those motifs that gets me invested in the storyline. And so this was Crimson Freedom. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with Crimson Freedom. Tomorrow we messing around with something else. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's about all I got for you, folks. Bye.